to I came back and then I went to I don't know, like I was thinking of going to uni, but like there was like stuff going on at home, not like just like family stuff, like
Yeah.
I, I don't know, but yeah, there was family stuff going on, and I'd already kind of formulated like or kind of opened my eyes to the cracks that I saw in like the church community that I was like part of before I went on my trip, and
Were you living at home at this time or?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I yeah, I think so. Yeah, but and so like with stuff going on at home, then it was kind of like yeah, like I just sort of there was one particular time like that whatever was going on at home got like it was too much for me like in my brain, like I was just like angry and like sort of having a bit of a meltdown.
Yeah.
And so it was so I went to see Rodri, faithful old Rodri, and
Oh.
his debaucherous life. No, so I basically I went I went and hooked up with Rodri because he was out skating, and so I went out and skating, and I was just like it like basically I knew he'd be smoking weed, and so I was just like, yeah, I need that to just silence my brain right now. And yeah, so it was kind of like I guess realistically the crux of it is that it was like escapism, which a lot of it is
Yeah.
anyway. Um, but
Probably.
like however, like escapism, it will cope like it's a coping mechanism,
Hmm.
I suppose. And so yeah, that kind of started that, and because whatever was going on at home was kind of ongoing, then I just kind of I kept that up, um, and just start sort of I withdrew from like active participation in like church and stuff because like I said, I'd sit, I was kind of aware of all these cracks and things, and I was fed up with people actually like turning up to like you turn up on a Sunday morning and people are just like hey, how's it going, and I knowing full well what's going on at home, I'm just thinking you don't give a shit, you just want me to say yeah, yeah, good, not too bad, how are you doing, and then because if I actually bore the like sort of bared all my bones, then you'd be like, oh, I, I, I'm gonna go over here and ask how he's doing now, okay?
Hmm.
And so I was kind of fed up of this, like,
Yeah.
sort of false, false community type thing where
Hmm.
people
Right.
like, oh yeah, we're like we're a family, and I'm like, yeah, but you don't really care.
Mm.
Um, and so yeah, so that kind of like was all sort of continued on. Um,
And that is exactly what you were talking. Was that last episode or 2 episodes ago? You were
Yeah.
saying that exact same thing.
Yeah, it's pretty rampant in a lot of churches. I think the one that I went to in Hawaii was better about that. Like there was a lot of really genuine people, but that is kind of a particularly lonely feeling when you are like going through something and you show up somewhere that is supposed to be kind of a healing environment and you encounter superficial people, and
mm,
it's not that like they're representative of that whole community. I kind of found for myself that like any community has those people and like the world is filled with those people, so it's more about this isn't a piece of advice, this is just something I found for myself, that like it's more about finding a like a handful of people who are actually kind of real and
Mm.
are able to recognize the depth of you sharing something and actually have like a knowledgeable, not knowledgeable response, but yeah, they're not just like going through this like routine, you know what I mean, they're actually trying to care about people. So
Right. It's like there's this whole like right message, like we accept you just the way you are, or this and that, and come as you are. And you're like, well, if you actually knew about all the bullshit going on in my life, would you actually say come as you are? Would you actually accept me where I'm at? Because I experienced people who completely turned on me and were like, oh,
Yeah.
let me read you a scripture and tell you how you should be living your life. Screw that. Like, that's not going to help me, And that is the problem. Again, I don't need to go off on a tangent, but with why people end up like completely turning away from other people. It's like the ones that treat you the kindest end up being the secular or the worldly people, And then the
Yeah.
people that are supposed to be accepting of like what you're experiencing or going through are like, well, I can't hang out with you. You got drunk last night.
Yeah.
Sorry. So anyhow, but
Yeah.
we've had this conversation, and we've had actually a lot of people reach out to us and talk about this exact same thing. So, it's something that needs to be, I think, put more out there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that like come as you are, and until it makes me feel comfortable, sort of thing.
come as you are, unless you come with hookers.
Yeah, literally, like
Yeah.
abide by my comfortable rules, and and
Yep.
come as you are.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So Rodri, weed, skating,
Yeah, and
pieced out from church eventually.
yeah, pretty much.
What did
Yeah,
your
so
life consist of after that?
so yeah, like once I just kind of like checked out, and just I kept going, and I started like partying loads, because like once I started, like, I mean, like I still skate now, and so I've skated since I was like a kid, and so I don't know, partying and like drugs and alcohol are kind of like quite conducive with the skateboard like
Right.
community, and so like being part of that, then I just kind of got into partying loads, and um yeah, I always like stayed fairly mindful of, like, I don't know, it wasn't like I switched off from like God or spirituality
Right.
or anything
Totally.
like this, but yeah, so I kind of carried that on, and it just kind of escalated, until so I moved to Cardiff then, so like the capital of Wales, and yeah, I was Cardiff.
Or the first time your dad asked me if I wanted a Mazda, and I said, a what? And he's like, a Mazda, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. And like Jesus, and she's like, a Mazda, and I'm like, I'm still struggling, but okay. Sorry. Anyhow, proceed.
Yeah, so it just kind of like kept going, because like I wasn't, I don't know, I just kept that lifestyle up for a long time, and it got heavier and more fun, and just like, yeah, somebody introduces you to something new that you haven't tried yet, and you're like, yes please. And so yeah, I just kind of like ran away with this whole sort of living free, doing what I wanted. I suppose I would have been spoken about by the church probably as I went off the rails, and yeah,
or
so
a little backslider.
yeah, that's one I haven't heard for a long time. Backsliding, like, sounds like a dance move, but
It does.
it's not.
No.
It's the devil's dance move.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
so
were you were working during that time, or you weren't going to school, right? Or
yeah, no, I wasn't
Okay.
studying then. So yeah, I was managing coffee shop, like a few coffee shops in Cardiff, and yeah, like everyone that I hired, like, or that was working there at that time, was pretty much like on the same vibe,
Yeah.
as it seems like most 20-something-year-olds are in this world.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, just like, yeah, so I was happy doing that, but it actually, like, part of the partying, like you go, so you're having these super highs of just like having fun and whatnot, but then like, and that's the way you are with people. But then
Right.
I was still kind of like dealing with all this sort of, so waking up in the morning, then you just left there feeling like, I've still got all this like
Mm,
reality of what started me down all this.
right.
And so, yeah, I kind of struggled with that, and like that all just kind of affected my mental health and stuff. But at this, I mean, yeah, so like I wasn't doing particularly great, but I knew a great cure for that, and that was just to party again.
Yeah.
And
Right. Right.
and so yeah, you just think actually, hey, like it's shit feeling like that. So
Mm.
yeah, let's just who's up for some more fun? And so
Yeah, and then
yeah,
you sober up and then yeah, and then reality is the same and you're like, well, F, like yeah, this is not what I want to be experiencing and yeah. So you're like, do it again.
I remember seeing a picture of you on Facebook or something, and occasionally I would see these posts of you kind of raging. And I remember this one. There was there was like you and some of your buddies or whoever it was, and you had like two like 40s like taped to your hand.
oh
And
yeah.
I was like, I've never seen that before, but I can tell that he is going pretty hard right now, and that he found himself in a situation where he has to finish both of those before he can function with his hands.
Isn't that like Edward Scissorhands or something? I don't remember what it's called.
Edward Ciderhands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Had kind of a prison vibe to it, but it did look fun.
Yeah, pretty much was. But yeah. Then they're doing there's another one, Amy Winehands.
Oh, you just do
Oh.
2 bottles of wine?
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
God,
But
wow.
yeah, so
gotta work up to
that
that.
I'd be asleep before I even finished those.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
So,
but yeah, so like that was it was all fun, and to be perfectly honest, like as much as some people might say like, oh, they must be really like low times, and yeah, they were low, but like I can honestly say I don't regret any of the things that I've done, like
yeah,
because I mean I wouldn't have kept doing it if it wasn't fun, and
right.
so yeah, it was loads of fun, but it didn't actually solve anything.
Right.
Um, yeah, so like you can't deny that these things are fun,
Right.
but at the same time, like you kind of got to grow up and just face up to stuff. And
Right.
so,
But I think, don't you? Well, I'm not sure exactly what you think, but we've talked about it a little bit on the show. I think dealing with things or facing reality, whatever that might be, everybody has something different. Um, you know, I guess mental health and even people that have mental or personality disorders and stuff, they get such a bad rap. And I understand like those can be issues to deal with, but also if we weren't, it feels like, and it feels like it's opening up a little more now, but especially when we were younger, you didn't talk about that stuff, or you were looked at as weird if you had to take medication or if you needed to go to therapy. My God, we could all use a little therapy.
yeah,
I'm like, you know what, maybe we would actually be a lot better people, and we might have like a ragey weekend or whatever, and still be able to go and have the fun times, but then like still be able to function and have a good life. But if we went to therapy and got counseling when we needed it, instead of feeling like shunned in a corner if we're not like, oh no, I'm good, my life's great. I don't know. I'm not sure how it is over there in the UK, but it's taken a while for that to come out, and be seen as more of a healthy thing, or taking care of the importance, I guess, of taking care of your mental health.
yeah.
I hate to do this, but I'm about to pee my pants. We got to take a break. Hold that
We'll
thought.
try not to keep. I know, and I know it's getting late, Joel. I'm not sure.
Wait, how are you feeling? Are you about to fall over?
I'm cool for now.
Okay. I'm
Okay,
just going to pee real quick and come back, all right?
cool.
We'll
Yeah,
edit
sweet.
this out
Yeah,
or
don't you
not.
worry.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see how good it gets going. Don't you love it? My dad's always like